Welcome to Artfully Yours with Diana. And this is the July challenge for the Art and Soul Studio Facebook group. And I'm starting with a color palette. You can get these from Pinterest and also designseeds.com. So I'm going to do an intuitive art journaling mixed media painting spread in my art journal, and the challenge is to recreate, restart, or rework something, a project from the past. And I decided I will restart this journal that I've started last year. I haven't worked in it for a while, and I'm going to do this intuitively, where I do not plan how this is going to turn out at all. And I'm working with a color palette, which makes things easier. Color choices can only be those choices there's on the color palette. So I'm matching up things, and some of that's Happy Mail. Some of that beautiful orange tissue was from Kylie, and maybe you saw on the back of the card she had written on the turquoise card, the dark turquoise card, she had written a message to me. And the colors match this, but I may or may not use this. So the color palette is the only thing that I have to use colors that are very similar to that. Other than that, I'm trying the intuitive technique of working in this journal page. I watched an artist work in this style, and I thought it was really great. Where I really just don't even think about too much about, like, I just think about, well, yes, I like it there, no, I don't like it there, and I don't try to overthink anything. It's just barely even thinking at all, just putting things on the page intuitively. So I'll be starting out with collage, and I already picked some collage papers ahead of time, including that Happy Mail, which is among my collage papers, that are in the color palette that I'm using. And it's just really great, the color palette, to have the color palette already established ahead of time. Then you don't have to worry about color choices. So there I had torn 5 pieces. I am thinking in my head while I'm working about, well, the rule of thirds, and also the rule of odds, or the rule of thirds, where you work and where you don't divide things in half, but you divide things in thirds on the page, on your artwork, but also the using odd numbers. So I am thinking about, like, okay, that was 5 torn sheets of collage paper. And this yellow ochre does not match up close enough, so I'm going to add white to it. And I just mix it right on the art journal page. I really enjoyed watching this video of the artist that was working like this. She doesn't always work like this, but in her art journal, she works on like that more often, because in her art journal, she doesn't feel like things have to be perfect. And I really think that's great to remember, that you don't always have to make things perfect. And this technique helps you realize that especially in your art journal, it's not where you're trying to make everything perfect. And working intuitively, I think, is a great exercise. I would like to actually do this more often. I found it very freeing, because I do tend to overthink things way too much when I create artwork, to the point where I'm not even enjoying it. I'm overthinking things and being extremely indecisive. And here I didn't have any indecision at all. Just hardly, I'm working intuitively and not even really trying. The only things I'm thinking about is a little bit about placement, a little bit, and not too much even about that, which is just so freeing for me, because I get caught up in so much indecision and get torn about, oh, should I put something here? Should I use this? Should I use that material? Should I use this color, this art element, that art element? So this is definitely beneficial to work this way. Here I'm going to create that turquoise, a beautiful turquoise. And I really like this summer. It's very summery palette, which is why I'm using it. A very summery, very July, August palette, color palette. Now when I add this color green, it gets the color right. I get the right color turquoise. Now when I start painting with the turquoise, I do think about when you repeat an element over and over throughout your artwork, that does create harmony and unity. So I am thinking about, well, the long skinny shapes of the collage paper that I glued on, I do try to mimic that with the paint a little bit. I mean, I didn't really think about it that much, but the marks that you'll see me making with this turquoise paint are kind of like long skinny marks. And for unity, I do try to repeat that throughout the composition. I actually put a big pile of paint on that bottom right corner, and I'm painting from that. Instead of having the paint on a palette or a plate, I'm actually have the paint right on the extra paint right on the page, and just keep taking from that. And I start using my fingers because when you smooth out the paint, you get a kind of nice effect with the smoothing out of the paint with your fingers rather than a paintbrush. So here's the long skinny marks. Well, not long, but medium long size skinny marks that kind of mimic the collage papers. So there I ended up actually with too much paint there. Because I would have liked to leave it there because the texture of that paint is really cool. Thick paint is really cool. texture on a painting, but it would have taken forever to dry. So maybe in the future I'll just put it up top high somewhere so my kitty cats can't get at it, and leave that any kind of thick paint texture on there, because it really is a cool effect. So now I was going through my collage papers and I'm thinking, well, I am using a summery paint palette, and I happen to have these collage papers that are marine themed. So that's the lovely printed tissue paper that I got in Happy Mail from Kylie. Now I'm showing the finished. Oh, I forgot my video camera cut out, so I couldn't finish videoing. Oh, that's the closest I got to that color. And yeah, my video, and there I like to use, I have some sparkle turquoise, and then the butterflies I actually paint over with some of the lightened up yellow ochre. And I'm showing shots of pretty much the finished one, and there she's too white, so I end up, to match the colors, I have the cream color over chalk. There's a gypsy dancer that I end up using as one of the focal points, and she's also a focal point. And my video camera actually cut out, and so now I'm showing still pictures of the rest of the project a little bit step by step as I went. And the last, I do kind of have the order mixed up here. I did show a finished shot, and now I'm going back to showing some. Now that's the finished shot again. So I hope you try out intuitive painting or mixed media painting, art journaling. It's a wonderful approach, wonderful technique. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, or subscribe, and thanks so much for my returning subscribers. I appreciate you so much. And for new subscribers, welcome, and I hope you enjoy more videos on my channel.